Hey friends, it's Michael, and today I wanted to talk about the cost of a new edition and some thoughts I have on the subject. So this is going to be kind of a sit and chat type of thing. I don't know how much I'm going to go ahead and edit this afterwards, but for a while now we have suspected that Horus Heresy 2.0 is coming at some point, and obviously that means potential rules changes. Blech. Rules changes. So we've already seen a lot of leaks that seem to indicate that we're going to get a bunch of changes from the previous edition, which probably means that the current books are not going to be valid anymore, including the black books. And so that means new books to purchase, obviously, new rule books. So what are we looking at in this case? Well, we're probably looking at a big rule book, which might be included in some of the starter sets. We are looking at a potential loyalist book, a potential trader book, and this is all according to rumor so far, so please take all of this with a huge grain of salt, obviously. But supposedly the new Horus Heresy edition is going to follow the Adeptus Titanicus model of book releases. So a loyalist book, a trader book for all the respective legions, along with regular updated campaign books that are not going to be in the style of the black books, but are going to be in the style of the Titanicus campaign books. So we'll see how that actually pans out once the edition releases. And in theory, Adepticon should give us some of those previews. We hope. I think all of us are hoping for that at the moment. There's no way to tell, but I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see. So I think what this means is that obviously you're looking at purchasing new rule books. You are not going to be able to use the old books anymore, and that comes with a couple of negatives, I guess. One of those is that rule books tend to be expensive. I believe the recent 9th edition rulebook for Warhammer 40k, if you didn't get it included in your box of Indomitus for $200, was $70, either $60 or $70, which is about standard price for a big rulebook these days, but that's still $60 that you have to spend in order to get the basic rules. Now, the question is, are you also going to have to purchase an army list book to replace the Age of Darkness army list book that currently includes all of the generic Legion units, vehicles, weapons, and all of that sort of thing? Or is all of that information going to be A, included in the main big rulebook, in which case it's going to be a really thick rule book, because that's a lot of information to pack into one book? Or are they going to double print that information in both the Loyalist book and the Trader book to pad out the page counts of those two separate books? And each of those books is probably going to be $55 or $60, which increases the cost of getting into that new edition by a significant amount, especially if you have both Loyalist and Trader armies. Recently, in the past year or so, I've been wanting to do a small Blood Angels force in order to demo games of Horus Heresy to people at some point with my Alpha Legion. Currently, I can just use all of the existing red books. Well, they're Blood Angels, so technically the Blood Angels rules are only found in Book 9, Malevolence, but I own that book. So for me, doing a demo force is not a huge deal. Now, if I were to start a demo force in the new edition, I'd be looking at buying Loyalist book, Trader book, potential Army List book, and new rule book, all at a cost of $55 to $60 to $70 a piece. And so I think it has the potential to be expensive, unless Games Workshop decides to do some kind of index that has bare bones starter rules for all of the legions, while they prepare the individual Loyalist and Trader books, which is I guess is a possibility. And I think all of that just kind of leads back to that whole uncertainty of what's coming. When is it coming? Are we going to get new plastic kits? How big is this new edition going to be? Is it going to, like... The supposed rules leaks show differences from the current rule set. I don't know if I could say that they're major differences so far. There appear to be a lot of changes and a lot of additions. For example, we are now getting reactions, which seem to be sort of similar to stratagems, except there's a much smaller list. They allow you to do things during your opponent's turn, like retreat from charges, fire your Overwatch at full ballistic skill, things along those lines. And so I don't know if... Train of thought here. I'm going all over the place, obviously. But I think my main core point is that this has the potential to be an expensive new edition, especially if you have to purchase a rulebook, your Trader book, your potential Army List book. That's already at least an outlay of $150 right there. You could get the giant starter set, which could potentially have a rulebook in it, if there's a giant starter set, which we don't know because GW hasn't said anything about it. And yeah, so I'm kind of torn because I really do think some of the changes sound interesting, but at the same point in time, I don't have the hobby budget right now to buy almost $200 worth of new rulebooks and a new starter, or a new starter and a couple of rulebooks in addition to the starter. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on edition changes. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below if you have anything interesting to add that that I hadn't thought of. And I haven't even gone into the hidden costs of edition changes yet, which is units could be invalidated. They could take out entire units. They could change out the allowed weapons loadouts for certain units. It depends on if Games Workshop really decides to go with the no model, no rules type of thing that they've been doing over the last couple of years with Main, Age of Sigmar, and Warhammer 40k. I would hope that they see the value of Horus Heresy being very much a converter type of game system. But it's really hard to tell. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm a little bit wary because you never know what a new edition is going to mean for the game as a whole. I would very much like the game to be more accessible than it currently is. And there's no telling right now whether or not that's going to happen or not. So yeah, I guess I will keep an eye on Warhammer community, see what news pops up. I will keep an eye on any preview streams or reveals that we might get at Adepticon, which is coming up in about 2 weeks, I think, 2.5 weeks. It's at the end of March, and so I guess we'll wait and find out. But until then, are you excited about a new edition? Are you looking to get into the Horus Heresy? Are you excited about it? Is a new edition going to make you start playing Horus Heresy because you're starting from a completely new start and you don't have to worry about any of the existing books? Again, let me know, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks for listening to my rambles, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.